presentation of Fox Sports.
We are La Force. We are Wisconsin.
Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. Crowd filing in here at Miller Park for the final of this four-game home-and-home series between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Minnesota Twins. A split earlier in the week at Target Field. Brewers going for the sweep here at home, and Chris Carter a big part of the reason why the Brewers last night had a season high in runs and hits at their biggest inning of the year. Ricky Nolasco going to try to slow him down. Brewers so clearly have other things in mind as they want to continue to build on last night's 10-run performance. Good afternoon from Miller Park. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. Sophia Minnaert is our reporter tonight. 10 runs on 13 hits last night, including a 4-run inning. It's all season highs for the Crew. And that middle of the order, Rock, you always like it to be a run-producing group, and it certainly was last night.
And the veterans came up big in what's considered to be a very young ball club. You know, the veteran guys that are supposed to provide leadership, able to get it done. What better way to show leadership than to get the job done on the field? Aaron Hill, who's been struggling a bit so far this year with a big home run that gave the Brewers a lead late in the game. Chris Carter's been outstanding, adding averages up there, on-base percentage, hitting home runs, and you know, Domingo Santana is showing that he's a heck of a leadoff hitter. I mean, he's got home run power, he's got the speed, he's had the patience at the plate, and who can forget Ryan Braun? He's been swinging the bat well throughout the season. Brawny hitting .340, Lucroy off to a great start. So the leadership roles for these four guys, the veterans amongst all these young players, doing a good job leading on the field last night.
Well, you mentioned Aaron Hill, and hopefully last night will get things really kick-started for him. His first homer as a Brewer in last night's win against the Twins. When we continue, Sophia Minnaert will talk with the veteran third baseman for the Crew. We get you ready for the Brewers and Twins on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. It's a border battle finale between the Brewers and Twins. Day baseball coming up here at Miller Park. The Brewers going for their third straight win. And on a night that they're coming off of a season high, 10 runs on 13 hits, they had 3 players go with home runs. Aaron Hill was one of them, and that could not come at a better time for the veteran third baseman. The results finally meeting up with the process for Aaron Hill. 2 hard hit outs. First one to center field in his first at-bat. His second AB, a hard hit grounder over to the shortstop. And the third time around, he would not miss. It was his first home run of the season. Could not come at a better time to give the Brewers back the lead after the Twins scored 3. And then in his final at-bat, a single. So for Hill, the results finally met up with the process and a good approach at the plate.
That's the whole season. You're going to have ups and downs, but the only thing really you can control is your work ethic and trying to stay consistent with what you're working on. And we've been doing a good job of that. Obviously, last night was a great night, but today is a whole new day. We got a different approach today, and or at least a different approach for the pitcher today, and hopefully it works out.
Hill and the Brewers look to keep swinging hot bats at the plate as they go for their third straight win. We've got Taylor Youngman, Ricky Nolasco coming up in the border battle finale here at Miller Park.
Brewer. I'm a Milwaukee Brewer. Baseball in this city is important to me. I feel a responsibility for it.
Being connected to the Twins organization as a player, as a coach, and now having an opportunity to manage is pretty special for me.
Brewers and Twins wrapping up this interleague series, known by many as what kind of battle, Rod?
Border battle.
Border battle. There you go. Of course
Yes,
it
sir.
is. Yes, sir. Have the roof closed. A threat of rain once again here, but beautiful inside Miller Park. Here's the Twins batting order presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Jorge Polanco at the top of the order. Dozier and Mauer the top 3. Miguel Sano in the middle. Eddie Rosario, Eduardo Escobar hitting 7th. The catcher John Ryan Murphy. The pitcher will hit 8th. Ricky Nolasco. A very speedy Byron Buxton back in the lineup and patrolling center field today. And Taylor Youngman on the mound for the Crew.
Yeah, making his 4th start, his 2nd start here at Miller Park. He faced the Giants in the beginning of the season. He's been very good at Miller Park in his career. 5-2 here at home with a .217 earned run average. Good bounce back start for him. Pretty good bounce back start for him against the Pirates his last time out. 4 runs in 6 innings after getting hit pretty good at St. Louis. The start before. This is the first time he's ever faced the Minnesota Twins today. And here's the defense set behind Taylor Youngman today. Brought to you by Menard. Scooter Gennett back in the lineup. He's making his 14th start this year. Braun, Flores, Santana in the outfield. Aaron Hill, VR, and Chris Carter round out the infield. And Lucroy once again behind home plate.
Day game after night game just doesn't matter with him, does it? Give him the gear. He is ready to go. And we are all ready to go at Miller Park as these teams conclude the home and home 4-game interleague series. A split in Minneapolis. The Twins winning in a rain-shortened game on Monday. The Brewers in a thriller defeating the Twins on Tuesday afternoon. And last night the Crew broke open what was a close game and pulled away to a 10-5 victory as Taylor Youngman gets things started working against Jorge Polanco. Polanco called up a couple of days ago when the Twins put Trevor Plouffe on the disabled list. A strained intercostal occurring over the weekend, and they were trying to give Plouffe a day or so to see if he could get back in there, but the answer was no, so they put him on the DL. So Polanco, the 22-year-old from the Dominican Republic, gets the call up. And Youngman with his first strike of the day, 2-1 the count.
Man, mentioned that Taylor Youngman's never faced the Twins. Matter of fact, no hitter in his lineup or on the Twins roster has ever faced him, so it's kind of an unusual setup.
And there's a hot shot, and that's a base hit. It's going to be a couple. It's going to go all the way to the corner as Santana runs it down, and Polanco with a stand-up double to begin the game.
89 miles an hour. It looked like almost a changeup from Taylor Youngman, and able to get on top of it. Actually a cut fastball that just didn't do much. Not a lot of velocity. 89 miles an hour right down the middle, and Polanco doubles to start the game for Minnesota.
So the youngster gets things started for the Twins as we keep our eyes on Taylor Youngman here this afternoon. His first outing, a good one against the Giants. Really got roughed up in St. Louis. Was better his last outing against the Pirates, but one big inning in particular, a 3-run inning. And then in the 4th gave up a solo homer to Andrew McCutchen as Dozier turns on one down the line, but a foul ball. First 2 hitters making some hard contact here against Youngman.
Yeah, Dozier thinking that was a fair ball. Didn't miss by much. Wow, maybe a couple of inches. And he just kept running. Yeah, first 2 hitters getting some pretty good swings against Taylor Youngman so far.
Taylor trying to settle it down, facing a second baseman who comes into the game with a 5-game hitting streak. Dozier last year led all second basemen with 28 home runs in an all-star year. And you see what he did last night. Still not off to the start that he would have wanted by a long shot. An even 200 batting average coming into the game.
Yeah, a lot of one-fers in that 5-game hitting streak.
Twins.
You got to figure he's going to get going at some point. I mean, 28 homers a year ago in a tough ballpark, Target Field, to hit home runs. Not bad for a second baseman.
Not bad at all. 1-1 the count. Just getting underway here at Miller Park. This is hit in the air, very shallow center, and that'll actually be Scooter Gennett out there covering for the first out of the day. Paul Molitor in his 2nd year as the Twins manager, and his team a little streaky to begin this season after an 83-win season a year ago. Lost their first 9, then won 4 in a row, and now he has seen his team drop its last 2. And still looking for a win on the road. The Twins going into this game 0-7 away from Target Field.
Yeah, really good year last year. Had a tremendous month of May. Pretty much 500 the rest of the way, and they hung in there just about until the last weekend of the season. Almost got to the playoffs.
Here's Joe Mauer at the plate.
And I guess you classify the Twins as a young team as well, sprinkled amongst a few veteran guys like Joe Mauer. Good year last year, off to a slow start this year.
Brewers have held him reasonably in check the last couple of games. Mauer was hitless on Tuesday in Minneapolis. That snapped a 9-game hitting streak. Had 1 hit last night. But he has enjoyed his trips to Miller Park when he has been here. A very healthy career average in this ballpark. Better than 350.
I think you could say that about Mauer in a lot of ballparks. He's just a good hitter. Not a lot of power, but a very good hitter.
There's that monster contract that takes him through 2018. Does Joe Mauer. The regular first baseman now. If he doesn't start there, Byung-ho Park has this season. The park not in the lineup here tonight, or this afternoon, I should say.
Yeah, or yesterday, and he was red hot against the Brewers in Minnesota. Good to have him on the bench.
He hit a couple of homers in the 2 games up at Target Field. Mauer, a 6-time All-Star, an MVP in his career. Youngman brings the 2-1. There's that curve that missed away. Taylor Youngman looking to find that form that he had for a good chunk of last season. It turned south in the month of September, but trying to get back to what was working so well for him when he was called up.
And that was that curveball. I mean, it's been rolling a lot. Not all the time. He's thrown some good ones, but just doesn't have that consistent curveball.
Full count now to Mauer. Leadoff double from Jorge Polanco, a pop-up from Brian Dozier, and now a full count to the first baseman Joe Mauer. Payoff pitch, and we'll do it again. After this game, the Twins will head off to D.C. weekend series, so the 5-man bench will continue to be necessary for Paul Molitor. No designated hitter, of course, going to yet another National League ballpark. As for the Brewers, they will remain home as the Philadelphia Phillies come to town this weekend. Phillies getting a walk-off win last night. A Peter Borges infield single drove in the winning run as the Phillies beat the Mets 5-4. And a walk as Mauer, he walked 6 times in his last 4 games. Adds 1 to it here in the first inning this afternoon.
Man, not a bad move. I mean, walking Joe Mauer, he got first base open, maybe set up a double play. He does take a lot of walks. Yeah, you wonder if the Twins would like to see him be a little bit more aggressive, maybe drive the baseball a little bit more. Kind of say the same thing about Joey Votto, right?
Exactly. High average hitters, not a lot of power.
Big contracts.
Yeah, very big. Here's Miguel Sano. He homered on Monday in the Twins win against the Brewers. His first of the year. Curve misses for ball 1.
You just keep trying to throw it. I mean, look where it's forcing him to throw it, maybe find it right at the bottom of the strike zone. This entire umpiring crew has had a very interesting strike zone throughout this 4-game series.
Yeah, last night it really rung true, especially in the inning. As there's the umpire from last night behind the plate, Mike Everett. He is the Sean Barber. As you look at the crew, Jordan Baker calling balls and strikes. Mike Everett, the crew chief. Tim Timmons and Sean Barber. Barber working over third today. He was behind the plate last night. Carlos Torres had back-to-back 4-pitch walks, but it looked like at least a couple were, according to Fox Tracks, not even borderline.
Yeah, well inside the strike zone, but and you know, Fox Tracks never lies.
Exactly right. To the credit of Torres, he worked out of it. This was in the 7th inning. After walking Maurer and Sano, he struck out Oswaldo Arcia. And from there, the Brewers went to work with the bats. 3-1 now to Miguel Sano.
Yeah, strong hitter that you don't make mistakes on, but you're forced to come in with strikes here. First and second already a walk on the board, and got to make a good pitch.
3-1 coming to Miguel Sano, and don't flip the bat away just yet. Full count.
Borderline gets the call that time. Take advantage of it. Make a good pitch here. Put him away.
3 balls, 2 strikes to the right fielder, Miguel Sano. Little tapper, and that will roll foul. A swinging bunt right there that Youngman wisely let roll foul. There was no play to be made.
Man, went with a curveball, and Jonathan's forced him to throw it even in tough counts. 3-2. They're ready first and second.
Busy first inning for the right-hander, Taylor Youngman. He's pitched well in his outings in this brief part of his career at Miller Park. Much better numbers here at Miller Park than away from home. And a little bit of trouble here in the first inning this afternoon. 3-2 pitch. First he will check on Jorge Polanco. Craig Counsell has seen his team win the last 2 games against the Twins, Tuesday afternoon at Target Field and last night. The third ball is upstairs and the bases are loaded. 2 walks already given up by Youngman in this first inning.
And another curveball, and that one hung up there. I thought Sano might be swinging at that one. That was a hanger. Let it go, just missed the top of the strike zone. And it's 2-seamer, natural cut to the fastball on the arm side, and he's got that curveball. He's been messing around with a changeup. Doesn't throw too many of them.
Trouble locating the zone, so a quick trip to the mound as his catcher Jonathan Lucroy out to talk with him briefly. And be careful with this guy, Eddie Rosario. His 2 homers have come in the last 2 games against the Brewers. Rosario playing left field this afternoon.
And both of them hit pretty good. I mean, bombs.
We've had some no doubt homers in this series. Arcia yanked one off the facing of the 3rd level. Chris Carter hit a screamer out of here. Well, we're talking about Rosario. This was Tuesday afternoon off Tyler Thornburg. This tied the game in the 8th inning. But the Brewers were able to push a run across in the 9th to win it. And this is Rosario last night.
And he goes oppo, center field and then out into left center.
2 strikes and nothing to Eddie Rosario. On the ground, a backhand stop by Villar, but no play. A run will score. And the Twins get on the board quickly here this afternoon.
Yep, on an 0-2 count. A little bit too good of a pitch on an 0-2 count, and Rosario able to drive in a run, get a base hit. Doesn't need to be that good of a pitch on an 0-2 count. Too much of the plate. And Villar just couldn't get the handle on it.
Well, Rosario with his 5th RBI of the season. And the bases remain loaded. Taylor Youngman laboring through this first inning. He will face Eduardo Escobar, the shortstop. Escobar with a hit in 4 trips last night. Leadoff double, 2 walks, and an infield single has the Twins on the scoreboard.
Yeah, a lot of lefties in the top half of the order. You got a couple of switch hitters and a couple of left-handed hitters. And Youngman's having a tough time with these lefties.
Missing with a curveball to fall behind 2-0. Twins last night wrapped out 12 hits, but they stranded 8. As the Brewers went on to the 10-5 win here. It's a bouncing ball to Jeanette. The play will be at first. 2 men out. Another run is in as Mauer scores, and it's 2-0 Minnesota. RBI for Escobar, and runners now at second and third. Brewers making a roster move after the game last night. Tyler Cravey was sent down to Colorado Springs. Outfielder Alex Presley now up, so that gives Craig Counsell a 5-man bench to make room on the 40-man. Pitcher Zach Jones was transferred to the 60-day disabled list. Two outs and runners in scoring position for John Ryan Murphy, the 24-year-old catcher. He and Kurt Suzuki have been tag teaming behind the plate in this series. There is that roster move we were talking about. Gravy pitched last night.
Yeah, did well, finished the game. And Alex Presley, we saw him in spring training, had a good spring, and he was one of the last cuts in Arizona. There's Alex, a left-handed hitting outfielder.
The ball is strike to Murphy. Came over in the trade for outfielder Aaron Hicks. Murphy last year with the Yankees. There was a team that drafted him. He backed up Brian McCann over there. There's a ground ball to Villar. And the inning is over. Well, the Twins get a couple right out of the gate on a couple of hits. Brewers now up for the first time today. Off of Taylor Youngman. Bernie looking to do a lot of sliding today. Had a lot of chances last night. The Brewers went deep 3 times for Craig Counsell. His team goes into today's game just a game under 500, 7-8, having won their last 2 outings here against the Twins. One at Target Field and right here at Miller Park last night. Here's the Brewers batting order presented by Potawatomi. Domingo Santana. One of those long balls last night. Top of the order, Scooter Gennett, Ryan Braun rounding out the top 3. Jonathan Lucroy hits cleanup, followed by Chris Carter and Aaron Hill. Flores, Youngman, and VR rounding out the Brewers batting order against the veteran Ricky Nolasco for the Twins. Santana had a couple of hits, including a home run last night. Season high in runs and hits.
Well, the 11th year for Ricky Nolasco. He's 33 years old. Spent most of his career with the Marlins, a year with the Dodgers, third year with the Twins. Bit of a rough season for him last year. A couple of injuries cut his season short, making start number 3. 10th start in his career against Milwaukee. So the Brewers have seen him quite a bit.
Yeah, Nolasco had an injury issue in April. Went on the disabled list. And then came back off the DL and won 5 straight, but then had an ankle problem that required surgery and ended his season in mid-July. 2 balls, 1 strike to Domingo Santana, leading off the bottom of the first.
A guy that's had good stuff, and I mean, he's had a nice career. Bounced around a little bit, but fastball, he'll sink it. He's got a good curveball.
3-1 pitch to Santana. Bouncing ball down the line, and that'll be extra bases for Santana on his way to second, and he will beat the throw. A sliding double for Domingo Santana. And the Twins start their half of the first with a double. Santana the same for Milwaukee.
Yeah, just out of the reach of Polanco over there at third base. I thought he might be able to get to it. Not sure he's going to be able to throw him out, but Nolasco missed his spot. It was supposed to be away. Just out of the reach of Polanco. Had he been able to keep it in the glove, it might have been a single, not a double for sure. So a good start. Brewers would like to bounce back quickly here after a 2-run first inning for the Twins.
Santana perhaps heating up at the plate. Brew had 13 hits to go with those 10 runs last night. And there's Scooter Gennett. Was good in those 2 games up at Target Field. Not in the lineup last night. Right back in there against the right-hander this afternoon. Going after the first pitch and sends it to Joe Mauer. Productive out though. Santana moves to third.
Well, let's check out the Minnesota Twins defense brought to you by Menards. From what we've seen from the Twins defensively, a little bit shaky, particularly in the outfield. You got Rosario in left, Byron Buxton, the young phenom. We got a lot of prospects, with the Twins. Buxton in center, Sano in right, Polanco, Escobar, Dozier, and Mauer from third to first, and John Ryan Murphy hanging the signs from Nolasco. He can run, that's for sure. He can throw. Question is, can he hit?
Yeah, that's what's left. We saw that arm on display, very highly regarded. All kinds of areas, one of their top prospects, period. But we saw that arm on display up at Target Field. Go along with that speed. Ryan Braun has put on a pretty good display of his own here of late. Couple of hits, a couple of walks last night. And against the Twins, he now owns a 9-game hitting streak. Mike Everett, the crew chief, says Braun held up. 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, there's that big curveball we were talking about with Nolasco. It's a pretty good pitch. It's a sharp breaker. Doesn't throw as hard as he used to. He used to be in the mid-90s. No more.
Twins made Taylor Youngman work in the top of the first. The Brewers have been good at making pitchers work hard every at bat. Crew drew 6 walks last night, and it was from the 5th inning on against Tommy Malone. Youngman got through it. He allowed a couple of runs, but the Twins were threatening to make it a real big first inning. Nolasco with a 2-1. In the air, right field, and going back is Sano. It's off the wall. Santana will score. Braun an RBI double, and the Brewers are on the board.
Well, off to a great start, Ryan Braun, and yeah, it's amazing the way he's able to stay back. Nice short stroke, gets on top of this pitch and hits a rope out there in the right field. Look at the way he stays down and through, the way that bat goes on a downward angle through the strike zone on a pitch away. That's a tough thing to do, believe me. And he hits that one over the head of Sano out there and right. And the Brewers on the board. Stay hot.
He is now 7 for 12 with runners in scoring position. A great start here to this season for Ryan Braun. 12 RBIs for him now. Here's Jonathan Lucroy. He had a couple of hits last night, including a 2-run double.
Yeah, Luke knocking on the door at 300, so a much better start this year than last for sure. Still waiting for his first big fly. And he has played a ton, a lot. He's been the DH, he's played first and caught a lot.
And this series, been behind the plate 3 times and a DH on Tuesday afternoon up in Minneapolis. So the Brewers punching back after the Twins scored a couple in the top half of this first inning. One scoring double from Ryan Braun.
You can see that in Lasco fastball, only 90 miles an hour, trying to get in on the hands of Lucroy. That used to be about 4 to 5 miles an hour faster a few years ago when he was with the Marlins. You have to evolve as you get older, right?
Absolutely. Reinvent yourself, as they say. Nolasco was originally drafted by the Cubs 15 years ago, but made his big league debut with the Marlins. He was part of a trade that involved Juan Pierre. Debuted with the Marlins back in 2006. Best year was 08 with the Marlins. He won 15 games that season and had an ERA of about 3.5. Third year of a 4-year deal with the Twins. Today's starter Ricky Nolasco. His first year was a rugged one. 5.38 ERA, went 6-12, and as we mentioned, last year he was rolling, but had to deal with the injuries, including an ankle that required surgery in mid-July. He had won 5 straight after dropping his first 2 decisions. 2-2 pitch to Lucroy. Strike 3 called, and Luke knew it.
Yeah, fooled him with the curveball. Both of these starting pitchers trying to establish that curveball. There it is from Nolasco. Not even a good one, but it was kind of a backup curveball.
Chris Carter, they call him Sleepy, and this is weather day here at Miller Park. There are some 15,000 youngsters at the park today to learn all about the weather. And Craig Counsell came out and urged the kids to mention Carter's nickname.
Chant Sleepy.
Yes.
Right? Did they do it?
Just a touch. There's their warm-up at bat. There's a pop-up that is secured by Brian Dozier. And the inning is over. Brewers get a run on the board, though. Domingo Santana starts the inning with a double down the third baseline. And then Ryan Braun continues with his hot bat, brings Santana home. It's 2-1 Minnesota after the first inning of play.
Brewers and the Twins. The Twins out to a 2-1 lead as we head to the second. And Taylor Youngman said he has always been a slow starter, even at the minor leagues. And so he's coming off of a road trip where he felt he made some decent progress. After a rough outing in St. Louis, 8 runs on 2+ innings, he feel he took a step forward with his start against Pittsburgh. 4 runs on 6 innings. He said, you know, I was throwing the ball like a 5'10 guy. He said, I'm a 6'6 tall guy. He said, that's not what I wanted. Trying to keep his delivery downhill, throw strikes, felt the ball was coming out flat in St. Louis. So he said, still doesn't feel he's where he needs to be, but feels he's making progress in the bullpen.
All right, thanks, Sophia. Got through the first, although the Twins scored a couple on him, but they were threatening to make it a real big inning as he faces Ricky Nolasco, Twins starting pitcher, to start the second inning.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, his start against the Cardinals, you can tell he just wasn't able to, use the inner half of the plate that he's right-handed hitters, and that's something he needs to do if he wants his curveball to be effective. Got to have something to keep him off that outside corner. He was not able to do that, but that start against the Pirates much better. Had a little bit more life on his fastball. He had better break on his curveball, and he's still trying to tweak that curveball here today. It's not where he wants it to be, but they continue to keep throwing it. That's what you have to do. Got to keep throwing it, and he's been throwing it in 3-2 counts.
Youngman in that last outing, it was a game where the Brewers bats were very quiet in Pittsburgh. Jonathan Neese pitched 7 innings of 3-hit shutout ball, and then the bullpen took over from there. Nolasco hits it well into right center field. That's Flores. He has it trapped, and it's a loud out. Boy, these Twins pitchers can swing the bat. Saw it last night, seeing it again here.
No kidding. I mean, we saw Tommy Malone with a couple of base hits, and Nolasco taking Ramon Flores to the warning track out there in right center on a 2-2 pitch. And no panic. Keep his eye on the baseball and able to haul it in, but Nolasco give that one a pretty good ride.
1 out for the center fielder Byron Buxton. Ninth man in the order for Paul Molitor's group. So we mentioned the question is, can he hit? He can cover all kinds of ground. He can run like the wind. Great arm. A low batting average. There's a curve in there. 0-2. Buxton not in the lineup last night. Strike 3 called. Got him on a curveball.
Yeah, that was his best one right there. I mean, Buxton's knees buckled and no chance. Hey, Matty, break out your cape and fly to Miller Park on Saturday, April 30th for Superhero Night, presented by Quick Trip. You know where it is? Your cape?
I thought you had it.
No.
You don't have it?
Yeah, the Brewers battle the Marlins, and fans who purchase a theme night special ticket package will get a Jonathan Lucroy superhero bobblehead. We have one up here. Visit brewers.com/theme nights.
Got to go find my cape.
Where do you get a cape?
There's stores out there that probably sell,
I'm not
Halloween attire.
No, I'm not talking
stuff
about
like
that. I'm talking about real
Right here.
cape. I mean,
Oh, okay.
a dress cape.
This is what you want to look like right here. Here's Polanco. The ground ball to Jeanette.
Find your cape.
We're going to go looking for that. We move to the bottom of the second here at Miller Park. home half of the second inning as Aaron Hill gets set to lead things off. And here's what he did last night. He had a good night, hit the ball hard, and got rewarded in a big way right here.
Yeah, that was a tie game. That would give the Brewers a lead late. And the Brewers would go on to score 10 runs last night, 10-5 victory. Their highest run output of the season so far.
Yes. Sophia had a chance to catch up with Aaron Hill for the game, and guy's been around a little bit, 34 years old. No, it's a long year. Just keep doing things the way you know you need to do them, and hopefully that's the start of something good here for the third baseman.
Yeah, we talked about leadership when we come on the field. What better way to lead a bunch of young players than to do it on the field and at the plate, right? All four of the veteran guys in that lineup, middle of the order, getting it done last night.
Enjoyed the chat you guys had with them during the spring training games. One of the telecasts you were visiting with them, and you asked him about that, the leadership and talking to guys. He's asked to duck at a curveball that sailed over his head. And he was telling you guys that he'll talk baseball all day. He's a young guy who wants to pick his brain or any number of players, and he's more than willing to do that.
Yeah, the comments that he made, you know, with Sophia, you know, before the game started, very leader-like comments, talking about even keel and preparation.
A fly ball to center, routine for Buxton. 1 out. Talked about what Hill is bringing to the party here in this Brewers team. With more on that, let's check in with Sophia.
Yeah, last night after his start, Jimmy Nelson really praised Aaron Hill. He said, you know, it was a tough road trip for him offensively at the plate. He had just 3 hits. And again, last night he was sort of rewarded for the process. He had the home run, his first of the season, first extra base hit, followed it with a single. And Nelson said he just has an impact on this team in so many different ways. He's such a great clubhouse presence, a great leader. He said on the field he's made some terrific plays for us defensively. So he said even if you're not producing at the plate, he's been able to save a few runs for us, and just a great voice out there on the field for them defensively.
And a good example for a lot of these guys. He hit that home run. You see what he did? Put the bat down, put his head down, and ran around the bases. Nothing showy about Aaron Hill. Of course, he's hit a number of home runs in his career.
That big year, that all-star year of 2009 when he homered 36 times.
Yeah.
He's had some other years where he's hit in the mid-20s. But that was his monster year. 2009, drove in 108 runs.
Had 1 year he hit, you know, for the cycle, was it 2 times in a week?
Yeah.
So he's done a lot in the game. He's seen a lot. He's done a lot, and he's been able to impart a lot of that wisdom and some of that experience in some of these young kids. Not a guy that's going to go up to somebody and start getting into their ear, but if they come up and ask him a question, he'll be more than happy to sit down with them and share some of the stuff that he's learned.
Ramon Flores had a good night last night, reached 3 times. One of them via the walk, had a couple of hits, and he walks here with 1 out in the second. That brings up Taylor Youngman. Tied the Twins in order in the second inning after Minnesota scored a couple to begin the game. Both pitchers hitting 8th in their respective batting orders this afternoon. And Youngman showing bunt, pulled back, and down a strike.
No slouch at the plate. He had a good year at the bat last year. Not an easy out. You got to make your pitches, and he's able to drop down bunts.
He had 10 hits, a .270 average last season. Last night the Brewers had to deal with Tommy Malone in the early portion of the game, a left-hander with a very good pickoff move. Up against the right-hander Nolasco today, as Youngman has to duck out of the way.
That was one of the best moves we've seen this year from a lefty. Brewers have faced 6 left-handed starters, and they fared pretty well. I mean, 500 against left-handers.
Malone was in a pretty good groove for a time last night. And this will roll foul.
Yeah, first time through the batting order, the Brewers weren't able to muster a whole lot. He had a lot of strikeouts and then kind of turned around quickly. The Brewers able to get to him.
One of the closer games, or maybe the closest thing the Brewers have had, put it that way, to a breather. But it's a little deceiving because that was a one-run game until late. And the Brewers broke it open. But they're just not going to be.
2 innings of breather.
That's a breather,
that
right?
was it. 8th and 9th.
There's a similar formula in the 4-run win in Pittsburgh last Friday. And that'll be a strikeout as Youngman trying to bunt with 2 strikes, unsuccessful. There are 2 men out here in the inning. Hey, Brewers fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store and download the free Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream the Brewers wherever you go. Jonathan Villar, 9th man in the Brewers batting order this afternoon. Switch hitter, 261 from the left side. Two to 1 game here in the second. Youngman versus Nolasco in this series finale. First time Nolasco has faced the Brewers here at Miller Park in 5 years. Went up against him 2 years ago, but that was up at Target Field.
Yeah, 2011 last time he pitched here. 3-3 with a 720 earned run average in 9 starts.
Keeping an eye on Flores over at first. Drew a walk. Hill a fly ball to center. Youngman a strikeout.
Might be a running situation here. That's why Nolasco is keeping an eye on Flores.
Runner holds and a base hit to center for Jonathan Villar.
He's been good, hadn't he, in the beginning of the year? I mean, defensively very good. He's got an on-base percentage over 400 to start. The switch hitter who seems to be a little bit more comfortable at the plate hitting left-handed. Able to knock that one into center field. Saying not so fast with this Orlando Arcia talk.
That can be a motivator, huh?
Yeah, you think? He's used to it, though. Had the same thing happen to him last year in Houston.
Yeah, a guy named Correa had a little something to do with his not being able to crack into the lineup or stay there. Here's Domingo Santana. He doubled to start the bottom of the first. Good start for Santana today. He went 2 for 4 last night. Quickly down 0-2.
With 2 consecutive breaking pitches, 2 sliders.
Flores off the bag at second. Villar at first. Swung on and missed. Got him with a curveball. Inning over. Brewers leave a pair, and we are through 2. It's 2-1 Twins. Very familiar face right there. Paul Molitor, our Carsoup.com trivia question. Who was also elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame along with Mr. Molitor back in 2004? Who did he go in with?
Hasn't changed much, has he?
No, he hasn't.
I would imagine that 0-9 start, he was thinking about grabbing a bat. Twins couldn't get a hit. They couldn't buy a run. 14 runs, what, nine games, right?
Was. He'd still probably hit it close to 300 today, huh?
Yeah.
At least 275, 280. +300 hits in his career, more than 2,200 as a Brewer. Brian Dozier leading off here in the third for the Twins.
It's like that old story with Ted Williams, right? Somebody asked him, what do you think you'd hit this day and age? He said, well, about 270. He said, what do you mean? 270? You were 400 hitter. I'm 70 years old.
And he's probably right.
Yeah, right? That's the same thing with Paulie.
Right.
With Paulie and Robin at the top of the order these days, I bet they do all right.
Only in his 50s, right? He's good. 2 balls, 1 strike. And then put the Twins down in order in the second. Facing the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the lineup in inning number 3. And Dozier draws a walk. That's the third given up by Youngman. Gave up a couple in the first inning. Into that part of the order now. Mauer, and Sano, and Rosario.
Man, with the struggles of Taylor Youngman, I mean, it really hasn't been an issue of base on balls. I mean, he's only walked 4 coming in, already 3 today. Just doesn't have the command and doesn't want to get too much of the plate. I guess he's on the corners. If you're going to miss off the plate. That's why he's got the 3 walks.
Including 1 to Mauer. Dozier has stolen a couple of bases so far this season. Twins have stolen 9 as a team. They've been cut down 4 times. Has Youngman's attention.
He stole 12 bases last year, 21 the year before. So not running quite as much.
First pitch to Mauer. Missed inside. Yeah, the 21, the most he has stolen in his career. Talking about Dozier. Not a high average hitter you're looking at there, but showed the power last year. Best among the second basemen.
I guess you're hitting, on base in front of Joe Mauer. Not a big home run hitter. He doesn't hit many, but he does have that hole between first and second to shoot, although he doesn't use that hole very much either. He's more up the middle into left field.
Mauer, a career .353 hitter at Miller Park. Hitting .340 through the first 2.5 weeks of this season. This one of several afternoon games in the big leagues today. Dodgers and Braves tied at 1 through 7. Marlins lead the Nationals 4-1. Twins will play the Nats in D.C. this weekend. Mariners lead the Indians 7-5. They're through 6. Red Sox early lead on the Rays 5-1 in the second. Angels and White Sox getting started. A bit later, the Giants at home against the Diamondbacks.
That was a pretty good pitching matchup last night in San Francisco, huh? You had Bumgarner and Greinke going at it. I actually listened to a little bit of that on the way home yesterday.
That's about as good as it gets. Yeah, there's a lot made, and rightly so, of a great matchup. Bumgarner and Clayton Kershaw.
And Greinke beat him 2-1.
3-1 the count to Joe Mauer. 7 hits for both teams. First win for Greinke this season after losing his first 2 decisions.
Bumgarner gave up an 0-2 home run to Wellington Castillo. 7th inning. That proves I watched it or listened to it.
That is some good detail right there. Mauer drawing a walk, so back-to-back walks here to start the 3rd inning.
Hey, reminder that the 5-county 5-day celebration continues all week long, and you can save 50% on tickets for the Brewers games against the Phillies this Friday through Sunday. To get your half-price tickets, go to brewers.com/5county.
Pitching coach Derek Johnson out of the mound as Youngman struggled in the first, was clean in the second, but now he has walked Brian Dozier and Joe Mauer here to begin the top of the 3rd.
It's a very complicated delivery for Taylor Youngman when you look at it. I mean, throws across his body, and sometimes when things get out of whack, he would imagine he'd have a difficult time throwing strikes. Everything has to be working pretty well for that delivery to be consistent and throwing strikes. Putting the baseball where you want it. And he's matched today his walk totals in his first 3 starts.
Gave up 2 against the Giants and just 1 in the outings against the Cardinals and the Pirates. Now the dangerous Miguel Sano. He walked in the first. Twins, like the Brewers, have picked up the pace with runners in scoring position. They both had low averages as a team, but in the last 5 or 6 games, both teams have ramped it up. Twins better than 300 over the last 5 with runners in scoring position. A ball, a strike to the Twins right fielder. Pitch count creeping up there here for Youngman. Only in the 3rd inning, still nobody out.
And it seems to be going more with the fastball now than the curveball. Established the curveball, was inconsistent with it, and now more fastballs. This is where that Taylor Youngman curveball down in the dirt is very effective. Let's see if he can get it down there.
That is ripped into left field, a base hit. Dozier rounding 3rd. He will score, and it's a 3-1 ball game.
And he didn't do it right. He threw the curveball, just couldn't get it down in the zone enough. He left it up, left it in, and Sano able to hit it down the line and left for an RBI. Still nobody out. And Lucroy wants that pitch down in the dirt on a 1-2 count. Look where it ends up. Inner half up, and Miguel Sano able to hit it hard enough out into left field. Got it on the end of the bat. Get that ball down around the dirt. Might be a double play ball. Leave it up. And able to find the outfield grass with it.
Yeah, to your point, when he's able to get that curveball to work like that, he got Paul Goldschmidt to chase on a 3-2 pitch. Made him look bad. And Goldschmidt doesn't look bad at the plate very often.
No.
Taylor left that one up, and Sano was able to yank it into left field. Here's Eddie Rosario. Had a pretty good week against Brewers pitching. A couple of home runs and a single here, infield single in the first. Brought in the first run of the game. He's one down, and there's no play at third as Hill was coming in, and the throw is in time at first to get Rosario.
That's a nice play. Initially, Youngman was thinking third base, but Hill was charging, and just a good athlete, able to make the adjustment, spin around and make a good throw to just get Rosario by half a step. Pretty close. That's a nice play by Youngman. That'll be a sacrifice, I would imagine, for Rosario.
Moves him up, and they're now on second and third for Eduardo Escobar. Grounded to second, but it scored Mauer in the first inning. Just one out. The infield is in. Little curve chop back to Youngman. He holds Mauer at third. Big out there, 2 away.
Yeah, good pitch. He got the curveball where he wanted it. Out in front was Escobar, and now he can see some daylight here to get out of this inning. That's a big out. Yep, right off the end of the bat. Looks the runner back and gets you out of first. Big help when you can field your position out there. Youngman making a good play on the bunt. And 1 out away from getting out of this mess.
He'll face the catcher, John Ryan Murphy.
And with first base open, you might want to be a little bit careful here. Pitcher on deck.
Starts it with a fastball. Needed some catching depth behind Kurt Suzuki. Not much in the way of big league ready catchers in the Twins system. So enter Murphy, who is down 0-2 now as he missed on a curveball.
And again, it only takes one mistake. Having a rough time of it so far, but got to make your pitches.
Twins with a run across and runners at second and third. 0-2 pitch. He bounced it. Lucroy, per usual, there to stop it.
You don't have to worry about that if you're a pitcher. Spiking a curveball with Lucroy back there. He'll block it.
Right back in there, day game after a night game. A 1-2. Missed with a curve. 63 pitches here for Youngman. See if he can end the inning with a 64th. Mauer at third, Sano the runner at second. Look out.
I'm not sure what that was, but 87 miles an hour over his head. Pretty good play by Lucroy. Check this out. In the webbing. I got it. Jordan Baker. He's able to get out of the way, all 6-7 of them back there.
Luke saving a run here for the moment. A full count to the Twins catcher. And back to Youngman. Couple of comebackers, and Taylor gets out of the inning. Twins get a run, but they strand 2 to the bottom of the third. A 2-run lead for the Twins. Minnesota with a run in the top half of the frame. And let's take a look at our Powerball home run leaderboard. Chris Carter, Scooter Gennett, Ryan Braun, all with 3, and we'll see at least 2 of those this inning, and we'll see Carter if one can reach in front of him. Actually, Carter atop the list with the 4 home runs. He took the lead last night with that liner over the wall in right center. And here is Scooter. 3 homers. The 1 RBI that was not courtesy of his home run power was the single in the 9th inning on Tuesday afternoon that beat the Twins up at Target Field.
Good time for it, right?
Gadiel Rivera led off the inning with a double, moved to 3rd on an error, and Gennett picked him up right away. Ground ball to first base in the opening inning. And there's a ground ball and a nice stop by Dozier. Out number 1.
He's played a good second base in this series. He's made a lot of nice plays like that, diving plays, and hasn't been able to, figure it out to play quite yet, but he'll give you a good effort out there at second base. Taking a base hit away from Scooter Gennett.
All-star a year ago. Brian Dozier. One out for Ryan Braun. RBI double in the first. He has now hit safely in 10 straight games against the Twins. 17 for 30 in that stretch. 10 RBIs.
Yeah, pretty good road trip for him. That just ended. Hit 385. 10 for 26. And had a 2 home run game in Pittsburgh. Just feeling good up there at the plate. Craig Counsell's been able to give him a day off from time to time to keep him sharp.
7 for 10 this week against Minnesota. Curveball fouled away. He's already driven in 12.
That's second on the team behind Chris Carter. He's got 13.
Ricky Nolasco with a 2-strike pitch. Nolasco, because of the injuries that shortened his season, he had but 8 starts last year for the Twins. Well, 1-2. Twins team is going to need him. Their pitching, while better last year, was still more middle of the pack. The starting rotation for the Twins a couple of years ago had the worst ERA in the American League. Picked it up. Not great, but good enough to be in the mix. Braun is out on strikes. 2 men out here in the 3rd.
Yeah, didn't mean to. Just couldn't hold up. Yeah, big curveball down in the dirt with 2 strikes. That's where Taylor Young was trying to get that curveball to Sano last inning. Not able to get there. Sano with a base hit. Ryan Braun tried to check it, couldn't.
And Braun becomes the 4th strikeout victim for Nolasco. 2 outs with the bases empty. The Twins right-hander now will face Jonathan Lucroy. He took a called 3rd strike in the first. Both teams with 3 hits. Lucroy, a ground ball to short. Escobar on the backhand. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ricky Nolasco. We are through 3 with the Twins leading 3-1. Wisconsin is brought to you by T-Mobile. Get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE since 2015. And by Hupy and Abraham, 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business. We are through 3 innings. Series finale, Brewers and the Minnesota Twins, with Paul Molitor's team enjoying a 3-1 lead. 8-9-1 in the Minnesota batting order is Ricky Nolasco, the starting pitcher. Taylor Youngman hitting 8th in the lineup, and Nolasco will get things started. Twins pitchers the last couple of games have been showing a pretty good bat. Malone last night. Nolasco flied to deep center in the 2nd inning. He has homered in his career. That was 10 years ago with the Marlins. The game against the Cubs went deep off as Sean Marshall.
That's the thing about interleague play, you know. I mean, you would think that the National League would have the advantage with the pitchers hitting in these National League parks, but it really doesn't really work that way. American League guys come over and, you know, get their at bats, get their hits.
Curveball there is Youngman out in front of ball, 2 strikes. Taylor needs a nice smooth inning here. He put him down in order in the 2nd inning, but the Twins put runs on the board, 2 in the 1st and 1 in the 3rd. Now a full count to the pitcher. Youngman did well to give up just the 1 run in the 3rd. The first 3 Twins reached back-to-back walks, a single from Sano, but he was then able to retire Rosario Escobar and John Ryan Murphy, and he has just walked the pitcher. Let's go down to the field, check in with Sophia Minnaerts.
Yeah, Matt, yesterday Dr. Rosh was here at Miller Park to do some evaluations on the guys on the disabled list. Will Smith, Matt Garza, and Corey Knebel. You see the injuries there. Garza, the lat strain, Will Smith, the knee, and Corey Knebel, the oblique. Craig Counsell said that all 3 of them, very good reports from Dr. Rosh. The time frames still on track. So what that means is Will Smith will now start to do some light jogging on the treadmill. And for Garza and Knebel, they'll start to do their plyometric work, which is essentially the step before they're allowed to go into their throwing programs. And Garza told me he's been feeling much better, and he's just going to continue to get that work in, but feels he's probably still 4 to 5 weeks away.
Thank you much, Sophia. Those are big hits.
Yeah, 4 to 5 weeks. We saw Garza yesterday taking batting practice with the starting pitching, which is always a good sign.
It's a step at a time, and that's no small one there, but Sophia reports still a ways to go. It's tough when you don't have all your weapons to start the season. You know, last year for Garza was a major struggle, but you also know at his best he can be very good. Knebel, a hard thrower, and Will Smith has really turned in some good work over the last couple of years for this team.
Yeah, that's the biggest loss of all of them, really, when you talk about Will Smith, one of the more reliable lefties out of the bullpen in the major leagues. Eat up a lot of innings for you, a lot of appearances. But Jeremy Jeffress has filled the role pretty well. I can only imagine what this bullpen is going to look like when those guys, if Jeffress is, or I should say Smith, is able to come back and Knebel comes back. That's a pretty good pen.
That is. You've got Thornburg and Blazek.
Yeah.
That's that. I don't know if counsel would ever refer to it as a big three, but for the purposes of this chat, that has been a pretty good trio there. Thornburg, Blazek, and Jeffress.
And Blaine Boyer has put together some good outings. Chris Capuano.
Saw Boyer last night. Last night when the Brewers won, it was the first win where Jeffress was not used in the ninth. 5 saves, and he came in a non-save situation last Friday in Pittsburgh. Jimmy Nelson went 6 2/3, and then Carlos Torres, Blaine Boyer, and Tyler Cravey finished up.
So bottom line, all the wins except one have been very close.
Just foul down the line. Yeah, and even last night you could argue it's deceiving. That game was tight until the Brewers broke it open with a 4-run 7th, and then put one more on the board in the 8th inning on a Domingo Santana homer. Home run power was huge. Chris Carter, Aaron Hill, and then Santana. Hill, his first home run as a Brewer. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the fleet-footed Byron Buxton, who goes down swinging. 1 out here in the 4th.
And finally he's able to get that curveball down where he wants it, down around the dirt. And Lucroy able to block it, and that's where you want a 2-strike curveball. Perfect. And Buxton goes down on strikes for the 2nd time.
Pitch count close to 80 now for Youngman. We are in the 4th inning with 1 out. Top of the order, Jorge Polanco. A double and a ground ball to second. Curve is away. Polanco brought up just a couple of days ago from AAA Rochester. There's a ground ball to Carter. There's the R for 1, and no chance to get Polanco running well up the line, but they get the lead man and 2 outs, and Polanco now the runner at first.
And another good pitch to get Polanco early in the count. A 1-0 pitch and an easy ground out. No way you're going to turn 2 to Polanco, hitting from the left side. And I'll tell you, they didn't make it real easy. I mean, Nolasco just kind of running out of the baseline in the way of Carter's throw. That's one of those ones, you know. Is that one of those that could he?
Yeah.
Did he get down? I mean, it looked like he was interfering with VR's opportunity to throw to first base. If you're going to peel off, you got to peel off a lot. You just peel off into the outfield, but would have been interesting had that baseball, but that Carter throw hit him in the shoulder, because he was definitely moving out of the baseline. Good curve. Check it out. Watch him peel off. He has no intention of getting there. He's kind of moving away from the bag and ducks his head and makes it tough on Carter, but they're able to get the out at second base.
On the edge there. 0-1 to Brian Dozier.
I remember one of my early years, I was going towards second base. UL Washington, shortstop with the Royals. He was playing shortstop, and apparently I didn't get down early enough, and he threw one that was right at my nose. And I got down. It was about 3/4 of the way to second base. Jim Garrett will tell you that's the way you get guys down on the ground quickly.
Yeah. Make your points into the shift. There's Scooter Gennett. And it's a nice inning for Taylor Youngman. A walk, but no damage done. 3-1 Twins moving to the bottom of the fourth. Lead the Brewers 3-1 as the big man will be leading things off. And here's what he did last night. Watch how fast this leaves the yard.
I had 4 seconds unofficially. But when he hits them, they stay hit. I don't remember a home run getting out of the ballpark any quicker than that one that he hit last night.
It was a laser. Popped out his first trip here today. Brewers were retired in order in the 3rd inning. A ball, a strike to Carter. Leads the team with 13 RBIs. 3 of them coming last night. After today, the Phillies come to town. Weekend series here in Milwaukee, and then an off day Monday, and then it's on to Chicago to play the Cubs Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and then Thursday afternoon, and we're right back home.
Get a good look at the renovated Wrigley Field, that beautiful clubhouse on the home side. That got done.
Like a club, right?
Yeah, still waiting for that visiting clubhouse. I think that's set for 2040.
That soon? I got the look at it for the first time last year. Like, yep, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it makes it so lovable, right? Wrigley Field, the friendly confines. And when you're talking about friendly confines, you're talking about the visiting clubhouse.
You are definitely confined. 3-2 pitch.
But the Cubbies are going to be a handful at Wrigley Field. Off to a terrific start. And Cubs 11-4. They lost yesterday to St. Louis.
Sat through a long rain delay in that game before the Game resumed, a 5-3 win. Carter to third. That's Polanco. That's out number 1. Let's check out Miller Lite's What's on Tap here at the Yard over the weekend. Aaron Nola will work against Zach Davies. That'll be tomorrow night. And Charlie Morton made the move for the Pirates to the Phillies against Chase Anderson. Jared Eichhoff and Willie Peralta, your matchup on Sunday afternoon. We're going to start it tomorrow night at 6:30 right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. So the Brewers will miss Vince Velasquez. He had a couple of great starts early, but got roughed up a couple of nights ago against the Mets. But he was just blowing people away.
Yeah, the first 2 starts pretty impressive, huh? Like 25 punch outs.
Yeah. 16 of them in 1 outing. A lot of early stars in baseball. Guys like Tyler White, Trevor Story. And Velasquez, an early pitching star. The Padres, who were having trouble buying a run, they were shut out time after time. They've actually won 2 in a row for the Pirates. The Padres winning last night 8-2. Jeff Locke got roughed up.
The Padres have been shut out 5 times already.
No balls, 2 strikes to Aaron Hill. Ducks under a curve.
We've had a few misfires from these starting pitchers on the curveball tonight or today.
Yeah, we've had a few hitters that have had to duck. Third start of the year for Nolasco. Another curveball that Hill was able to get a piece of. Tommy Malone looked like he was sailing along last night, but get that second time through. Brewers were able to start doing some damage. So far so good. Second time through here for Nolasco this afternoon.
And a curveball is such a good pitch, but it's so inconsistent for a pitcher. It's got that good downward break on it when you throw it right, but sometimes you try and get a little bit too much spin on it. It just kind of comes out of your hand, and that's when you sail one over the hitter's head. We got Youngman, we got Nolasco, and probably the best curveball I ever saw just to our left. Bert Blyleven over there.
Oh, yeah.
I caught him for a couple of years. Let me tell you, he was a lot easier to catch than hit.
There's a curveball that takes care of Hill.
Man, that's a good one.
Yeah, I've enjoyed meeting him, Bert Blyleven. It's been a terrific pitcher, a good guy, good to chat with.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Spent a couple of years in Anaheim with him. There's that curveball. It was up in his zone, but it was the speed really that fooled Aaron Hill. He was out in front of it. They call him Captain Hook, Bert Blyleven. Hall of Famer.
2 outs, bases empty for Ramon Flores. Nolasco with 5 strikeouts here so far. There he is. Bert Blyleven.
Says he still has a pretty good curveball. He goes to Twins fantasy camp.
Still has it.
Drops the old Uncle Charlie on him once in a while. A lot of fun. One of my good buddies in baseball. Handsome man too, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Very dignified. Works with Dick Bramer. Twins television.
Yeah.
Good to catch up with Corey Provis as well on the radio side.
Yeah.
See Corey a lot during the college basketball season. Fans who follow the league.
Works with Dan Gladden.
There he is. A busy guy.
Yep. Loved his time in Milwaukee. Now #1 radio voice over there in Minnesota. That's where all of Uke's ex-partners end up, right? Top of the heap.
I guess, man. That's like the alumni tour here. Joe Block last week in Pittsburgh.
Who better to teach a guy how to do radio in the big leagues, right?
Oh,
Bob Uecker.
absolutely.
Yep.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Ramon Flores. Shoots this one foul. Yeah, in St. Louis last week, one of the last games of BA worked before doing some national work here for the next few weeks. Able to sit in the radio booth. Got out of your way for one game, but it was a lot of fun. Just being in there with you and Jeff Levering. Flores checks his swing.
A lot more room to move around in the radio booth.
In St. Louis, yes.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah. A lot of equipment to bump into in the TV booth.
Full count to Ramon Flores. He drew a walk in the 2nd inning. And that is well hit to right, but right at Sano. Inning over. Flores barreled it up, but Sano was there, and we are through 4. Brewers down by 2. Brewers 3-1 wrap up this interleague series at Miller Park. A very tough day for folks in the state of Minnesota, but fans of music worldwide. Today we found out the passing of Prince.
Really?
One of the great artists, musical artists of our time. 57. Passed away today.
57, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Young.
One of the great Super Bowl halftime performances maybe ever, among other performances that he gave in his life, in his great career.
That all started in the Twin Cities.
That's right. Joe Mauer leading off here in the 5th for the Twins. Continues to draw walks, 8 of them now over the last 4.5 games. And he goes the other way. Ryan Braun toward the line, and he cannot get it, and that'll bounce over the wall. Ground rule double for Joe Mauer to start the 5th.
Well, once again, taking it to the opposite field and hitting it with some power. You know, pitch up and away, goes right with it. And Ryan just not able to get there. Ryan goes toward the line very well, just out of his reach. Not sure if he got a piece of it. Nope, just missed it, and one hops a wall. One hops over and a double to lead off the fifth for the Twins.
Has hit number 4 for Minnesota. Here's Miguel Sano. Brewers have yet to get him out today. A walk and a run scoring single to left.
Yeah, 4 hits, 5 walks. 2 of the walks have scored. That's the difference in the game.
Twins with 2 runs in the first, another in the third. Brewers lone run coming in the first. Big 260-pounder. People keep asking Paul Molitor whether to consider putting Sano back at third. He's just had such limited work there. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago when he was out for the season. They made the move with Sano to put him in right field, where he's clearly still learning the nuances of playing out there. But Trevor Plouffe on the disabled list, and they're avoiding, at least for now, throwing Sano back over there. It's been a while since he's had work there, any significant kind of practice work over at third. Another walk issued by Taylor Youngman.
No, regardless, they're going to play him somewhere because he can hit. I mean, they've got Byung-Ho Park, who is really the DH. There's only so many designated hitters you can have on your roster. Sano probably is qualified for that spot. They're trying to hide him out in right field, and so far it's been a rough go for him.
6 walks now given up by Youngman. As the first 2 Twins reach a Mauer double.
Now, all the activity on the bases for the Twins, and the Brewers have to really feel fortunate that they're only down by 2 runs.
We're going to see a double switch here as Greg Counsell comes out. Kirk Neuenhuis will check in. Have a pitching change as well. A tough outing here for Youngman. Just could not find the rhythm as he will exit after 4+. Twins lead the Brewers 3-1 as we continue here at Miller Park. Global reach seems to be greater than ever. For now, Cuba remains one country that's outside its reach. Watch our special documentary, Cuba, Baseball's Final Frontier, Sunday after Brewers Live postgame right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Tough one for Taylor Youngman. 4+ innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, and the runners on are his responsibility. 6 walks today for the big right-hander. So he is done for the day, and now Chris Capuano on for the crew.
Yeah, Cappy on for the 7th time. He's got a .450 earned run average, as you can see on the graphic. Last pitch on Sunday against the Pirates, Gave up a run in 2 innings of work on 3 hits. Did give up a home run to Andy McCutchen. Had a very good spring. Was invited as a non-roster invitee and made the ball club. Also Blaine Boyer, a non-roster invitee to spring training that made the opening day roster.
Craig Counsell needs some big outs here from Capuano. Top of the 5th, the first 2 Twins getting on base. A Mauer double, a Sano walk, and now Rosario at the plate. Kirk Neuenhuis now into play center field. No small point to this game. Twins up 2, have a threat going in the 5th as they have already gotten into the Milwaukee bullpen. And that is struck well into center field, a base hit. It'll be station to station. Mauer had to hold up. The bases are loaded now for Minnesota.
Eddie Rosario's found something. I mean, he came into this series in Minnesota having had a very difficult time at the plate. And he has been swinging it pretty well. A couple of hits today, a couple of home runs in the series, and he centers that one lefty versus lefty, and all of a sudden swinging the bat pretty well.
Bases loaded, nobody out. As Eddie Rosario has gotten hot. Eduardo Escobar. Switch hitter.
Now Brewers in at the corners, and they have the big shift on for Escobar. It's going to be near impossible to turn a double play unless one's hit right at Jeanette.
Out in front, Escobar from the right side is 3 for 7 this season.
Capuano with that real good changeup. He can use one here, get it down in the strike zone. He could really use a strikeout.
You have the catcher John Ryan Murphy on deck. Well, a strikeout and a double play, that'd be a nice formula. And a ball, 2 strikes now to Escobar. RBI ground out from Escobar and a tapper back to the mound in the 3rd. It's Chris Capuano on in relief of Taylor Youngman. The 1-2.
He tried that cut fastball down and in. That's the one he swung at the pitch before.
Doesn't bite this time and stays in there. The veteran Chris Capuano walking into a tough spot here this afternoon. The 2-2. Just foul. Mauer had to skip rope. Study and perseverance there, Chris Capuano, excuse me, the multiple Tommy Johns.
2 of them. 2002 and 2008 Tommy John surgeries.
Had an 18-win season, part of his resume with the Crew. Count of 2-2. The shortstop Eduardo Escobar. He stays in there. Brewers trying to get a 3-game streak going here. They dropped the first of this interleague series in Minneapolis on Monday, but Exciting game on Tuesday, a 6-5 win. Big power coming out last night in a 10-5 victory, and now the Brewers are in catch-up mode here, but right now in hold mode. Bases loaded, Twins up a couple. And he went around. There it is. Big strikeout for Capuano.
And they got that slider. Couldn't hold up. Escobar down on strikes. Now you get your double play. Good pitch by Capuano. You see the rotation on the slider. Down and in. And Escobar just not able to hold up. That's a good pitch by Cappy. Great block by Lucroy. That's why pitchers really have no problem throwing that pitch in the dirt with Lucroy or Maldonado back there. They're going to block it.
One out, bases remain loaded. Here's John Ryan Murphy. Ground ball to short. Grounded back to the pitcher in the third. In there with a breaking ball for strike one. Catcher up. See if he can get Murphy to hit one on the ground. Oh, 1 pitch. Back up the middle. There's Jeanette. Flips to VR1, and there's your double play. 4-6-3 as Chris Capuano works out of a major jam. Gets a strikeout, and then he gets this from John Ryan Murphy. Jeanette, VR to Carter. Big double play. It remains a 2-run game. Of the fifth, but the Twins missed a big chance to blow open this game. Chris Capuano getting first to strike out with the bases loaded. Then he gets this.
No, the shift saves a couple of runs. That would have been a base hit, a couple of RBIs, but Scooter Jeanette and Jonathan VR turned the unusual double play. I mean, these two guys have to be very creative out there with the way the Brewers shift in their ability to turn double plays. I mean, they start in different positions and they're doing a pretty good job on the fly, those two guys.
Kept the Twins off the board. Kirk Neuenhuis will lead things off at the bottom of the fifth. And there at center field now on the double switch, the top half of the inning. And this has popped up. Dozier will call for it. 1 out.
Hey, this season, every $50 you spend at Pick and Save gets you a free Brewers ticket. All you have to do is use your Fresh Perks card at Pick and Save between now And May 4th, to get this special offer, visit pickandsave.com/Brewers to learn more.
Nice crowd here this afternoon. The series wrap up. It's weather day here, so a lot of youngsters, young boys and girls out at the ballpark this afternoon.
Looks like it's hot dog day too.
Oh yeah,
they're looking good.
Oh, looking real good. There you are. Part of the weather day crowd. 15,000.
Yeah. They were fired up this morning.
They had this place rocking. It was fun. Jonathan Villar trying to push a bunt, and it's room service for Polanco. 2 outs. We're serious about this weather day thing now. I mean, we had the meteorologist here. And of course, the racing sausages.
Hey, John Milan and his group. There's Craig Counsell telling everybody about the Chris Carter nickname. They're trying to get going. Sleepy. He asked him to chant Sleepy every time he got an at bat. I'm not sure if they've been able to do it or not.
Haven't picked up on it quite yet.
There's been signs out there. I'm not sure I'd want to upset Chris Carter.
No, probably not. He's at the plate, presented by Blaze Pizza. The day so far for Domingo Santana.
But Sleepy doesn't seem to be too bad of a nickname.
Here's Mr. Laidback. Soft-spoken, easy swing, hits the ball really hard. As does Santana when he gets into it, which he did last night, hit his 2nd homer of the year. No balls, 2 strikes with the bases empty.
Who would have thought he'd have been the leadoff hitter coming into the season? He's doing a good job. I mean, hitting on base percentage near 370. Taking his walks, getting his hits. On base percentage 100 points higher than his batting average, which means he's been able to draw his walks. That's what you want out of your leadoff hitter. Get on base.
And he goes down swinging here is Ricky Nolasco pitching well this afternoon. We are through 5 with the Twins leading 3-1.
Here at Miller Park, and the Milwaukee Brewers Community Involvement Initiative, known as the Community Achievers Award, will recognize residents throughout the state of Wisconsin each month during the season for displaying extraordinary efforts in their community. All adults and school-aged children throughout the state are eligible to participate. To nominate someone for the Community Achievers Award, visit brewers.com and click on the Community Foundation tab.
All right, thank you very much, Sophia. We move to the 6th inning. As Ricky Nolasco will lead things off. Fly to deep center and drew a walk in the 4th inning. It's Chris Capuano, who was terrific in getting out of a bases loaded mess in the 5th, back out there to start the 6th.
Yep, strikeout double play, just what we asked for up here.
We might have 1 or 2 more requests before the day is done. Pretty good cut. Velasco has retired the last 10 Brewers he has faced, by the way.
He's had a real good curveball today. That's been his out pitch. Brewers have not been able to figure it out.
Capuano ahead of ball, 2 strikes. Capuano trying to keep it close and let the bats mount the rally. Crew has won 2 of the first 3 of this 4-game matchup. Got him swinging out in front on the changeup.
That's a good one, real good one.
Let's go back to our Carsoup.com trivia question. Who was also elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame with Paul Molitor back in 2004? That's pretty good class.
Yeah, Eck.
Dennis Eckersley. A small class in quantity, but that is serious quality, those 2.
Yeah, huh?
That's the vote. You need 3/4 of the voters to go your way, and both in relatively comfortably.
And how does Molitor not get 100%? I mean, honestly. I mean, Paul Molitor, 3,300 hits. I'd like to talk to the guys that didn't vote him in.
It's always interesting. There are those who you think are absolute no-brainers going in, but you get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah,
not this time.
It takes Bert Blyleven. You ever look at Bert Blyleven's numbers? And it took him forever to get in.
Yeah, it's
a shame.
Although I would say I'm not sure I'd be in a big hurry to be a voter.
You wouldn't?
But no, I think there are some calls that are easier than others, but that's be an honor to do it. And with that guy, I don't think you have to have a whole lot of thought. Yeah, he's in.
I think you put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, no, it's they always have those 1 or 2 that like on the edge. Bert Blyleven, 287 wins in his career that spanned over 2 decades.
Complete games, shutouts.
Yeah, you look at the number of complete games, and clearly the game has changed and how pitchers are used. But the '85 season, he went the distance 24 times. Byron Buxton drawing a walk.
This year's Hall of Fame class, a no-brainer. Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Piazza.
Yeah, no real argument. No real argument there.
No.
The one thing that I've never fully understood, and I guess I've changed there, if you have voters who say, well, he's a Hall of Famer, but I can't put him in the first ballot. Thinking, well, why not? If you think he's a Hall of Famer, then, but that's part of the
right.
That's part of the difficulty, I think, of being one of the voters.
Joe DiMaggio didn't get in the first ballot.
Yeah. Go figure. It's always a fun weekend I mean, great if you could go and be there in Cooperstown, but just watching the speeches, the great celebration of the game.
Yeah. You talk to the Hall of Famers that go to that every year. I'd say it's an incredible experience. They have a big dinner for each and every one of the ones that are able to attend. And nothing like it. You just like to be a fly on the wall on that dinner, huh? Some of the greats of all time.
The stories, and yeah, just be in a room. One legend after the other. Were able to dig it out of there as Buxton was teasing as though he may want to try it.
Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Piazza, members 311 and 312 in the Hall of Fame, meaning 312 are in
all time.
Yeah.
That's think about that. That is a very small fraternity in the history of this great game. One-0 pitch coming to Jorge Polanco. No, you and BA talked about it last year with the Hall of Fame induction. It would really be a great way if there was somehow you work it into the All-Star break, into the festivities. I mean, look, that is speak of a celebration of the game. You bring back so many of the stars of the past, the Hall of Famers will be at whatever site the All-Star game is in a given year. But if there was maybe one other way to hook that all in there together.
Let some of the guys that are involved in organizations go. I think Molitor is the only manager in the Hall of Fame class. He might be the only coach in baseball that's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, a full-time coach.
A ball is strike to Polanco. Right to VR. There's Jeanette for one. On to first. Double play. Second straight inning. The Brewers have turned two. Let's see if the bats can come alive. 3-1 Twins here at Miller Park. Cabrera and the Tigers take on the reigning World Series champion Kansas City Royals. 5:30 p.m. Central in a game you can only see on FS1 or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Bottom of the sixth. Well, Chris Capuano turned in some great work out of the bullpen. It remains a 3-1 game. Let's see if the Brewer bats can get going now. 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Jeanette, Braun, and Lucroy against Ricky Nolasco, who has held the Brewers to just 3 hits. As you see, he has been in total command of late. retiring 10 straight.
You know, one last word on the Hall of Fame. Ken Griffey Jr. 99.32% of the vote. The all-time record, the old record held by Tom Seaver, 98.84. Now, who would leave those two guys off?
That's the question. It screams to be asked. There's a fly ball to left. Eddie Rosario should have no trouble. There's out number one.
You wouldn't leave those two guys off if you were voting?
No, I would not. I would not. I would have them on. Here comes Ryan Braun. His day started on a very good note. RBI double to right center. He struck out in the third. Twins have missed on a chance or two to break this game open. Brewers still very much in this, but now he's trying to find a way to get on base against this guy. Nolasco has set down 11 in a row.
That curveball that seems to get better every inning. I mean, his pitch count's in really good shape. We work here in the sixth, 77. You'd like to be able to get into that Twins bullpen. They have struggled in this series.
Yeah, the Brewers banged him around last night in a big way. The last Brewer to reach was Jonathan Villar, second inning single. Nolasco has struck out 6. Has a 1-1 count to Ryan Braun. Foul tip into the mid of John Ryan Murphy. Crew trying to even its record. 7 and 8s coming into this game. Paul Molitor's bunch 4 and 11 lost their first 9, won 4 in a row, including Monday night in the rain-shortened game against the Brewers. But the Crew has come back to get the Twins the last couple of games. The 2-2. Got him swinging.
Good breaking pitch. Wow. He's got 2 different ones. One looks more like a slider like that last one, as opposed to that big bending curveball. And there's that slider. You see the dot, and Brawny out in front takes a little off that breaking ball and gets his strikeout. So after Braun doubled in the first, back-to-back Ks, both coming on breaking pitches.
Nolasco has struck out 7. And here's Jonathan Lucroy. He took a called third strike in the first, grounded to short in the third. Fastball from Nolasco. Signed a 4-year contract a couple of years back. Back up the middle and a base hit. Nolasco had retired 12 in a row, but Lucroy stops that string. That's hit number 4 for Milwaukee.
And Lucroy continues to put a good swing on the baseball, getting his base hits, keeping his average up, and on the fastball from Nolasco, misses his spot, and Lucroy able to hit it into center field. You see Buxton playing very deep out there in center. Well, tying run comes to the plate.
Carter leads the team in homers and runs driven in. Hit his 4th bomb last night. Yeah, that chant of sleepy just isn't happening.
No, no, I think the
tried.
kids have forgot about it. Too much cotton candy.
Kind of wrecks your train of thought.
Yeah, it does.
Check swing.
It was a valiant effort his first time up, but you know how the attention span of kids can be.
Oh, I understand.
I mean, you and I, for that matter, at least me.
I say no. I'm right there with you.
Chasing shiny objects and.
Well, you break out the cotton candy and forget about everything else.
Oh yeah.
One pitch to Chris Carter. Waves at it. Looking ball down. A ball, 2 strikes. Lucroy, the runner at first. Here's the 1-2. Curve ball just missing. Good take. Not by much.
Yeah, got the benefit of the doubt there.
See if he can make a mistake and if Carter can capitalize. Full count. Middle of the order, 3 through 6 was huge for the Brewers last night.
Well, Carter hadn't seen a fastball this entire at bat. Sliders and curveballs. Does he give him a fastball? I doubt it.
Here comes the payoff. Little chopper to third. Polanco on the charge. Inning over. We'll get a 2-out single from Lucroy, but that's it. And we are through 6. 3-1 Twins.
Three to 1. Kirk Neuenhuis entered the game for Ramon Flores in center field earlier in the 5th inning on a double switch, and now with the recalling Alex Presley, the Brewers go back to having 3 options for center field. So manager Craig Counsell said that as we go on throughout the season, it's likely that they'll continue to share at bats in center field. He said ideally we'd like for somebody to take hold of that position, but it's more likely that they'll continue to share between the 2 or 3 options. He says we now have 3 left-handed hitters to consider, so it's not ideal matchup-wise, but he said we're just going to have to do the best we can. In regards to Alex Presley, he says what he brings to the table, he knows his skill set, he has experience, you trust that you can put him in situations that he'll execute, and he got off to a great start at the plate in Colorado Springs. He was hitting .344 in 9 games for them.
All right, thanks much, Sophia. Yeah, good spring training for Presley, and as you just mentioned, a good start to Colorado Springs, but Neuenhuis out there right now, and we move to the top of the 7th, and Carlos Torres now on for the 2nd straight game for Milwaukee.
He did a nice job yesterday when he came in. Torres, a third of an inning. He got a big strikeout and a big threat for Minnesota last night. 7th appearance. Got to put a 0 up on the board here.
That was interesting last night. Coming in the 7th inning. Missed in his first 8 pitches, although Fox Tracks had at least a couple of them in the zone. With back-to-back walks, and then he was able to strike out Oswaldo Arcia, and that was a huge moment in the game. At the bottom of that inning, the Brewers broke through, scoring 4 times.
The Twins had tied it, kept it tied, and the Brewers had a big inning.
A ball, 2 strikes to Brian Dozier. Liner right there on the shift is Scooter Gennett for out number 1.
This guy can't buy a hit, can he?
Oh.
Had
on the button.
Check swing double in last night's game. He's hit some balls hard. He's been popping up a lot, but the shift gets him that time.
Second time that shift has gotten to him. Torres retires his first hitter he faces today, and here's Joe Mauer. Two walks and a double for Mauer this afternoon. And he was left stranded at third. The first 3 Twins reached in the 5th inning. First 2 off of Taylor Youngman. Chris Capuano gave up a single and then got a strikeout and a double play to keep the Twins from expanding the lead. This is lifted into shallow left. Braun is there. 2 outs.
Hey, today's time of the game winner. Weekend at Bernie's in Chippewa Falls, as they call the Brewers, by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. They get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Good movie.
Great movie. Great movie. How many years ago was that? Was that like early 90s?
Too many.
Yeah. Great tavern, great movie.
Maybe dial that one up tonight, right?
That'd be good.
Hang out, night off.
1989.
You actually get to go back to Madison today.
Go back to Madison.
It's been what, 2 weeks?
Been a little while. Miguel Sano with a fly ball hit back into deep right center field, and that is leaving the yard. Miguel Sano, who homered on Monday, goes deep this afternoon, and it's a 3-run lead for the Twins.
Yeah, he's strong. Yeah, 2 walks. Hitting an RBI now, a home run, 2 outs and nobody on. A slider from Torres. One thing to keep in the back of your mind, this guy likes the ball in. He likes it down and in. He golfs it on out of here. And I think as soon as he made contact, he knew that was out. And Neuenhuis just runs out of room out there in left center, right center. That's a big, strong man. It doesn't matter where they're going to play him. They're going to play him somewhere because he can hit.
And he has proven it in this series, both at Target Field and here at Miller Park. 18 bombs a year ago in 80 games. 0-1 pitch to Rosario, going right through it and down 0-2. Good day again for Rosario. He's hit 2 homers in the series. Tuesday in Minneapolis and then last night. Just a little bloop that'll drop. The Twins doing damage with 2 out. It's a no homer and now a single from Eddie Rosario. Seven hits now for Minnesota.
Yeah, just Torres just not able to get that fastball in far enough. Rosario got jammed, but muscles it into right field, and you got to figure he might be on the move here. They run a little bit.
Eduardo Escobar at the plate.
What was Rosario hitting when the 4-game series started? He was what, $140?
Right around there, yeah.
Up to nothing to speak home shout about, but 229. I mean, that's pretty good movement on the batting average in a short period of time. That's 4 days.
Including a 3-hit day today. Yeah, their hottest of hitters not in the lineup. Eduardo Nunez.
Nunez and Park.
Yeah, Nunez, his average has dropped to 452. And lighten it up. Arcia not in the lineup today. Saw him struggle defensively, but showed some skills with the bat. Long home run last night. Younger brother Orlando had a walk-off for Biloxi, or for Colorado Springs, I should say. First game of the doubleheader yesterday. 2-2 the count to Escobar. Torres, retired Dozier and Mauer, Sanoa homer, Rosario a single to right. Runners on the move. In the air, down the line and lefts, and there will be no play. Rosario is 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts. You mentioned the Twins. They do have guys who can run. As a team, they have 9 stolen bases going into the game. Been caught 4 times. Torres trying to finish off Escobar. Again, the runner's going. Pitch is taken. Throw down to second. Not there. Yeah. Wow, what a throw.
Yeah, perfect throw. He got a good jump. Stole that one on the pitcher. Well, the pitch was down in the zone. Rosario's second of the season. Check this out. Not an easy pitch to throw on down. And look at this throw by Lucroy right on the bag. And we could see he was able to get his foot in there before the tag was applied. And he can't do it much better than that. And Lucroy just made that throw.
Craig Counsell want his guys to take a look, but I'm not sure there's going to be enough there, although it's at this point in the game he hasn't used it yet, so he's going to go ahead and give it a whirl. So we will have a review here.
Is there something we didn't see? I'm not sure, but it looked like Rosario got the foot in there, but hey, why not? Pretty close.
So if you have it, use it.
Remember, the call on the field is safe, and it's got to be overwhelming evidence to overturn the call on the field, and it's going to be interesting if they're able to find that evidence.
So on the phone with New York. Mike Everett, the crew chief, your right.
Well, it's bang bang. I'm not sure there's enough there, but we'll see. Right there's the tag. I think the foot's on, and that was a pretty good call by Tim Timmons. We'll see what the umpires in New York are going to say about it. Look at Timmons. He's in really good position to make this call.
Pretty close, but not sure there's enough to overturn. Let's find out together. They gave it a whirl.
It was close, but I don't think there's enough there to overturn it. Clear and convincing evidence that the call in the field was wrong and just didn't have it.
So Rosario gets his second stolen base of the year. Twins with a runner back in scoring position. Full count to Escobar. And runners now at first and second. This inning started well enough for Torres, but it has taken a tough turn.
Home run, single, walk, and I guess once Rosario stole that base, they were willing to put Escobar on to go after Murphy, who's having a difficult time at the plate so far this year.
Yeah, Murphy hitting just .083, bounced into a double play. It was a big one at the time. The bases were loaded in the 5th inning. And a 4-6-3 double play ended the threat, and at the time left it a 2-run game. But a Sano homer here in the 7th has given the Twins this current 3-run lead. Leaves right through it for strike one. Second straight game the Brewers have turned to Carlos Torres. In the air to right. Routine for Domingo Santana. And that'll do it for the Twins in the 7th inning. They pick up a run on a homer from Sano. It's 4-1 Minnesota. Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Bottom of the 7th at Miller Park, Ricky Nolasco. Terrific line so far. And keep in mind, in each of his first 2 starts, he went 7 innings. He's in good shape, pitch count good. He'll face Aaron Hill to lead off the bottom of the 7th. Good night last night for Aaron, trying to carry it over, and 0 for 2 today. A fly ball to center and a strikeout. One of 7 strikeout victims for Nolasco this afternoon. See if they can break through here. The Crew in a tough afternoon, just 4 hits so far. 2-1 pitch coming to Hill. Breaking ball in there to even the count.
Yeah, just one after another, right? Using the fastball very sparingly, but curves and sliders. You know, every now and again a changeup, not too many, but The Brewers really haven't been able to figure that guy out yet. It's getting late.
You saw Alex Presley, who is on deck. Hill with a smash and a stab by Escobar. Out number 1.
Yep, he hung one, but unfortunately right at the shortstop. Got it right before it hit the ground.
First out of the inning, and here is Alex Presley. Was called up. Brewers making a roster move last night, sending down Tyler Cravey, and Alex Presley is up. Very good spring training, and you just saw his numbers at Colorado Springs, so now he gets his chance with the big club. Appeared in 8 games with the Astros last year, and in a little more than half of the games of the season, 89 as a matter of fact, 2 years ago. 30 years old, signed as a free agent in December, and there you go, a base hit to center.
Well, against his old team, he spent parts of 2013 in Minnesota. And making a nice impression to the crowd here in Milwaukee. There's that split change. We haven't seen too many of those, have we? Well, trying something different, and you know, Alex Presley able to stay on it and dump it into center field. That's amazing. You know, the Brewers have stayed close. The Twins have had a lot of opportunities, and that's going to be it for Nolasco.
Yeah, the Brewers are getting into the Twins bullpen, down 3 with 1 out in the 7th. Ricky Nolasco with a very strong outing for the Twins here today. 6 of the 3rd inning, striking out 7. He had the crew locked up. Good breaking stuff from Nolasco here today.
Yeah, a lot of curveballs, a lot of sliders. The Brewers had opportunities in each of the first 2 innings, but that was pretty much it. They retired the side in order 3 consecutive innings, and that was broken up by a Jonathan Lucroy single, Presley with a single, and yeah, the Brewers need to get something going here. But a good outing for Nolasco. He's had pretty good outings. All 3 outings have been pretty good for him as Fernando Abad comes in. 7th appearance. We saw him back in Minnesota. Not a hard thrower, but he'll throw everything up there at you. And the Brewers had the bottom of their order up.
Last couple of years he was with the Oakland A's. Appeared in a lot of games. 62 a year ago, 69 the year before that. He'll face another pinch hitter as Colin Walsh will step in. Walsh got his first big league hit on Tuesday at Target Field. Rifled one into the right field corner. Good time for his second career hit right here against the left-hander Fernando Abad.
And get a hit or a walk, bring that tying run to the plate, take your chances in. Walsh does walk a lot. Or at least he walked a lot last year in the minor leagues. We saw him walk a fair amount in spring training.
Rule 5 pick from the Oakland A's. 2-strike pitch. Yeah, drew 124 walks last year to lead the Texas League. Did Walsh. Graduate of Stanford University. Multiple degrees. Good take to even the count. This is bachelor's in management science and engineering and a master's degree in civil engineering.
So he's got options.
That's way over my head. Yeah,
right.
He does. There's a lot of options. Stay with this option for as long as he can. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Strike 3 call. 2 men out.
Yep, slow breaking ball right at the top of the strike zone. Foxcroft has it in the strike zone.
Had him locked up. Presley remains the runner at first. Jonathan Villar is the hitter. Villar singled to center. Tried to lay one down in the 5th, but was thrown out 5-3.
Tried to push one right by Polanco as he was charging. Hit it right to him.
Abad missing with a curve. 30 years old from the Dominican Republic, Fernando Abad. Originally signed with the Houston Astros. Another curveball. Evens the count. Brewers with just 5 hits so far today. Still in striking distance, the Twins have stranded 9 runners. Back to the fastball. Villar, 9th man in the order. So if he can extend it, you go back to Santana and then Jeanette if you can get there. Moving the line has been a real difficult thing for the Brewers here this afternoon. Fastball again.
Yeah, 92. That's a lot harder than he was throwing in Minnesota. He was throwing about 88, 89 miles an hour, 92 there. So feeling much better right on the outside corner.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Runs it full. Villar trying to reach. It would bring the tying run to the plate. Only run the Brewers have managed so far was in the 1st inning. Santana got it started with a double. Waiting on deck, hoping for a chance here in the 7th. Fernando Abad ready. 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball is lifted to center. That's Buxton. And the inning is over. Alex Presley with a hit, but the Brewers do nothing with it. It remains 4-1 Twins.
3-run lead, and on Sunday, May 1st, the Brewers celebrate the franchise's all-time leader in homers with a special edition Ryan Braun bobblehead given to all fans in attendance for the Crews matchup with the Marlins. That's all courtesy of U.S. Cellular. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
258 and counting for Ryan Braun. Sam Freeman now on the pitch here in the 8th for Milwaukee.
Yeah, Freeman really started out in a rough fashion when he first came over here. And last 2 outings, not too bad. I mean, last time out, yeah, Sam Freeman pitched on Sunday and retired the only batter they faced, Andrew McCutchen, the stranded inherited base runner. And one of 2 left-handers, Capuano, already used in the game through 2 innings. So now it's Sam Freeman's opportunity.
And Alex Presley, who had a pinch single at the bottom of the 7th, he stays in the game. So we have seen Flores, Neuenhuis, and now Alex Presley out there in center for Milwaukee. And Sophia Minute was telling us a little while ago, chat with Craig Counsell before the game, that no, it's not a perfect world, and you have 3 left-handed hitters out there vying for 1 spot, trying to see if someone will go up and grab it. But in the meantime, there's some playing time for everybody. We'll continue to do that. Now it's Presley in the fold. Eduardo Nunez will be pinch hitting.
And I'm sure it's not going to be the last transaction the Brewers are going to make this year. They're going to see a lot of that. Guys coming up, going down, and he's trying to get a sense for what they have in this organization and what feels good for him going into next year.
Nunez, a hot bat, but he will lift one to center. A chance for Presley, and there's out number 1. Gonna cool off a guy who's hitting nearly 500 in the first couple of weeks of the season.
Yeah, and having said all that with the transactions and thinking toward the future, Craig Counsell has not put any limitations on this team's ability to win. So right now he's thinking about what his best options are to win games and what he has down in the minor leagues here in Milwaukee. He and David Stearns on a constant hotline talking about those types of things, and they want to win.
That's what's been interesting, is being around the club now for the last week and a half. Just kind of mouth shut, eyes and ears open, and listening to Craig, and he's been very consistent about that. And really, Rock, you were out there in Arizona. He said, look, somebody surprised me. Or somebody, so just show me something.
Yeah.
No we're not going to put a ceiling on anybody, any individual or on this ball club. Nobody associated with this team wants to hear about what the projections are and all of that. And they know it's not going to be easy, but why put limits? See what you can do.
Right. Expects his team to win, play well, stay close in games.
Byron Buxton. It's it into left field, a base hit. There's his first hit, takes the big turn, and he can fly, and there you see it, all the way around to second.
Yeah, and that's it. When he puts the bat on the baseball and is able to find the outfield, there's a changeup from Freeman right off the end of the bat. All he's got to be able to do is make contact, Byron Buxton, because if he gets balls like that, I mean, he can fly. The way he turns first base, and it's not even close at second. Even a good throw, and he's going to be in there easily.
See him changing gears there. And his 3rd double. He tripled the other day, and StatCast clocked him getting there in about 10 3/4 seconds. Here's Jorge Polanco. Scored the first run of the game, led off the game with a double, and a pickoff attempt will sail away from Jeanette. Buxton on to 3rd. On the error.
They're just trying to keep him close. And not even close. So the arm drop, not able to get the baseball to Jeanette, and good speed now at 3rd base with 1 out. That's the last thing you want. Now fly ball, doesn't even have to be that deep with this guy at 3rd to score another run.
E1, first error of the game for either team. Polanco has doubled and scored. A couple of ground balls and actually 3, including a double play to end the 6th inning. Pounded into a 6-4-3. Sam Freeman in a bit of trouble here in the 8th. Last year with the Rangers, 3 previous years with the St. Louis Cardinals.
He's got a good arm, just has to be able to throw more strikes. Fastball inconsistent as well as the breaking pitch. But that's pretty good fastball right there. Nice easy delivery. Somewhat short arms it. And that baseball really sneaks up on a hitter. He's got to be able to throw it over the plate.
No lefty on lefty specialist. Splits show you he fares far better against right-handers. A ball, 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. Another mid-90s fastball. Buxton the runner at third with 1 out. Polanco will be followed by Brian Dozier. Two-two pitch. In the air to right. This will score Buxton, or it should. Santana the catch. Here comes the throw, and he just runs that well. He's safe.
Yeah, that's a heck of a throw by Santana, but anybody but Byron Buxton, and that's going to be an out at home plate. Twins just had the right guy at third. Let's see if he leaves early. Nope. Doesn't have to. Not with that kind of speed.
Well, that was a heck of a throw.
Yeah, right on the money, in the air, and anybody but Buxton run into home plate, and that's going to be an out.
Why they like him so much, and the Brewers like Santana showing that arm. Sacrifice fly for Polanco. It's a 5-1 game. Brian Dozier at the plate. Dozier comes in with a 5-game hitting streak, hitless in 3 trips. He walked back in the 3rd inning. Brewers now find themselves down by 4. Twins with runs in each of the last 2 innings. Hit in the air to left field. Braun going back at the wall. Gone. Brian Dozier, he went deep 28 times last year. That's his 2nd home run this year.
Well, he's made some solid contact in this series, and most of the time they've been caught. He hit one where they couldn't catch it. That ball was hit pretty well. He hit one pretty well into right center last night. That stayed in the ballpark. There's that fastball from Sam Freeman down. Not as effective down as it is up in the zone in the mid-90s. A nice short stroke, and Dozier hit it, and he knew he got it.
Five-run lead now for the Twins. Joe Mauer. 2 walks, a double, and a fly ball to left for the Twins first baseman. 2-run inning now for Minnesota. Twins trying to split this series. That's why having a roof is good right there. Raining again here in Milwaukee, but no worries inside Miller Park. No worries about the weather.
No 2.5-hour rain delays here.
Yeah, we just couldn't resist teasing some of the folks. It's a great park, Target Field, no doubt. But to have the roof, that is priceless. Right? You know, you buy your ticket.
And not having it, ridiculous.
Thank you very much.
Oh, well.
So it goes. Great to know that when you buy your ticket, you know you got a ball game. 1-2 the count to Joe Mauer. Here it comes from Freeman to center field. Presley is there. Side retired. But a good inning for the Twins as they score twice. 6-1. Bottom of the 8th we go.
Down. Bernie is still dancing here in the 8th inning. It's 6-1 Twins over Milwaukee. The Brewers coming to bat. We're getting ready for Brewers Live postgame on the way. Ricky Nolasco. Ricky did not lose his number today, Augie. I'll tell you what, he was tough against Brewer hitters.
You know, he's like a reclamation project. He wants to really prove himself. This Minnesota Twin Ball Club retired 12 in a row at one time. Really is breakable. Very effective today. But hey, we have 2 innings left. Brewers have been finishing well all spring training. Maybe they got something started today.
There's Hall of Famer Paul Molitor with his team out in front against his old club. We've got Brewers Live coming up after the ball game here from Craig Counsell, and get you set for the weekend series against the Phillies. Matt.
All right, Craig, and a sweet Steely Dan reference right there.
Yeah.
Ricky, don't use that. Don't lose, not use.
Yeah.
Ricky, don't lose that number.
Right, Craig's
there
on
you
it.
Go. He's
Craig's
all
on
over
it. Yep.
Very solid. New pitcher for the Twins here in the home half of the 8th inning is Trevor May now on.
Well, you got Trevor May. You've got Jepson down in that bullpen. Jepson, the closer. The Brewers able to get to the closer, but you know, May having a good start at 225 earned run average. You can see more strikeouts than innings pitched, and it appears he's got a pretty good curveball too.
Eduardo Nunez stays in the game. Twins put a couple of more on the board in the top half of this inning. A 6-1 lead now. Top of the order for the Crew. Santana started the Brewers first with a double. He has struck out twice since in innings 2 and 5. (16 starts last year among the 48 appearances for May. Moved back to the bullpen after Irvin Santana's suspension was served.
So giving up 2 earned runs this year, and he's a big dude. He's 6'5", 240 pounds. Rushes it up there pretty good. 95 with that fastball.
That catches Santana looking for out number 1. Out of Kelso, Washington, Trevor May. Here's Scooter Gennett. Mentioned his hometown. He was the valedictorian of his high school class. Got some smart guys.
Really?
There, yeah. Got Colin Walsh with his master's from Stanford. Trevor May, a high school valedictorian. I don't know about you, but I fell a little short.
Yeah. Yep. To say I was middle of the pack is generous. You got Capuano, a Duke grad.
That's right.
Yeah.
One and one the count. And in the booth, the Clemson Tiger and a graduate of the Harvard of Central Ohio for me.
Which is?
Ohio State. The Harvard of Central Ohio.
The Ohio State?
The Ohio State University.
Don't you say that like they all do?
No, not anymore. It's kind of annoying. Especially when you've been a Badger now for the last 28 years or whatever it is. Here's Scooter Gennett down the line and left. 27, 28 seasons, like a losing count.
Yeah.
Been fun though.
Long time.
Yeah, we are. My wife and I we are Wisconsinites now.
I don't think anybody would question that.
I hope not.
No,
I get the grief now and then.
No, I don't think so. Maybe amongst your inner circle.
My people?
Yeah.
Well, 1-2 to Gennett. Chance for Brian Dozier. 2 up, 2 down in the 8th.
Some would say you are Badger sports. Me included.
It's kind of weird. I guess I get it if people don't understand it. Because, you're a fan of a team, you're a fan of a team, and that's the way you are growing up. But there are a few things in my job with the Badgers that I enjoy more than seeing Wisconsin beat Ohio State.
Yeah. Is that going to happen this year?
I want to call it right now. Yeah.
Nice.
They got the Buckeyes in their house this year at Camp Randall. So
all right.
I sure hope so. How about that? How's that for going out on a limb?
When's that game?
That is an October tussle. They have a bear of a schedule this season. There's a ground ball off the bat of Braun. Dozier makes the play, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Go to the night. 6-1 Twins.
Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the nights with luxury. Move to the ninth inning, 6-1 Twins. Sam Freeman will stay on here for the Crew. Twins scoring a couple of runs in the eighth inning off the Brewers left-hander. Miguel Sano, who homered his last trip. Solo shot. Both of his home runs coming against the Brewers this week. He's had a good day. 2 hits, 2 walks, and 2 runs driven in. Taylor Youngman started, went 4+, 4 hits, 3 runs, walked a career high 6. Got him in trouble here today. A couple of strikeouts. Terrific work turned in by Chris Capuano.
Yeah, came in a tough spot and was able to get out of it with no run scoring. Was able to induce 2 different double play balls today.
Sano draws a walk. 3rd time he has walked this afternoon. Get a visit from Jonathan Lucroy, but yeah, back to Capuano. That first double play was really huge. Youngman started the 4th, gave up a double to Joe Mauer, walked Sano. Capuano gave up a single to Rosario. That loaded the bases, but from there Capuano struck out Eduardo Escobar and got the catcher John Ryan Murphy to ground into a 4-6-3 double play. Unfortunately, the Brewers' bats have been kept quiet.
Man, not much going on. Ricky Nolasco was outstanding today.
Max Kepler in as a pinch runner. Saw him have an at-bat last night. Kepler, born in Berlin, Germany.
Yep, hit a double.
Had a big year last year in the minor leagues. Chattanooga, breakout year, winning League Player of the Year honors. The son of professional ballet dancers. How about that?
Wow.
Max Kepler. Rosario with a bouncer, and that gets through. A base hit. And the first 2 Twins have reached here in the 9th.
Yeah, Rosario having a big series. 4 hits today. Breaking out of that early season slump. Batting average up to 245 now. Just out of the reach of Carter. We've said that a bunch in this series.
Twins with 10 hits. They had 12 last night. Eduardo Escobar. You see his afternoon. Walking his last trip. First 2 have reached. Rosario with his 4th hit of the day. First career 4-hit day for Eddie Rosario. That is well hit, but that will carry just foul down the line and left.
Yeah, Twins are getting some pretty good swings on this Freeman fastball. He's really haven't thrown too many breaking pitches, and I don't care how hard you're throwing. If you're throwing nothing but fastballs, they're going to time him out. Guys are going to start getting some pretty good swings.
Freeman trying to get that straightened out here. Twins with a
Little threat going in the ninth. Sano will walk. Rosario is single. A ball, a strike to Eduardo Escobar.
There's a good changeup. Must have hurt us.
Our requests have been answered pretty favorably here the last couple nights. Minnesota on Tuesday afternoon. Last night. Got to pick our spots. In the air in the center field. That's going to be a base hit. Kepler rounding third. He's going to score. And it's a 7-1 ball game. RBI single for Escobar and runners at the corners.
And nobody getting loose in that Brewers bullpen. So it looks as though this is going to be Sam Freeman's inning. And the Twins are pouring it on now, up 7-1.
Yeah, first outing for Freeman as a Brewer, rough, but showing some signs of getting it going the other direction. But unfortunately, a step back here this afternoon. Gave up 2 runs in the 8th and now 1 so far in the 9th, and still nobody out. Here's John Ryan Murphy. Murphy 0 for 4, including that double play in the 5th inning that at the time seemed like it could be a big play, big moment. Brewers were down just 2. Got out of a bases loaded jam.
Yeah, Brewers hung around here and they really didn't have a whole lot going offensively. They got some breaks with some double plays from the Twins until the 8th, that 2-run 8th. Kind of made lead a little bit more comfortable for Minnesota.
A ball, a strike to the Twins catcher. We've seen both Murphy and Kurt Suzuki. They have split the 4 games. Murphy, the 24-year-old, getting the call here today. 1-2 the count. The Phillies come in tomorrow night. Start a weekend series. Well, the Twins will move on to D.C. Take on Bryce Harper and the Nats. Harper off to a huge start.
Yeah, Phillies off today.
Beat the Mets. Peter Borges a walk-off single. Down swinging is John Ryan Murphy, first out of the inning. I have been woefully negligent, by the way, probably in a lot of areas, but I recognize our crew, producer Dan Keener, director Adam Bryant. Throw Brent Reeland's name in there as well. Didn't mention him in Pittsburgh.
They know you love him.
Got to be able to do that.
I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to. You know, I think they understand. I mean, you got a lot going on.
Well, I'm sure they've all survived the blow, but important to recognize those guys working for a living in the truck, giving us grief, especially you, during the course of a game.
Yeah. Whatever I can do to entertain folks.
You're here to serve.
Yep, that's all. Make everybody's day happy.
No respect. Eduardo Nunez getting his second at bat with a fly ball to center in the 8th inning. Nunez off to quite the start. They're coming off the bench today, but that batting average you're seeing when you start at 500, which he did last night. Tough to keep improving on that as this is popped up. Santana will take charge. And they're 2 men out. Runner tags. Here's a throw to the plate. It's up the line. And another run is in as Rosario tags and scores.
Yeah, he just didn't seem ready to make that throw. Maybe he didn't know how many outs there were. I'm not sure. Somebody might have told him. Presley but really didn't surround that baseball all that well. We saw a really good throw last inning, and he's calling it. He really doesn't seem as though he's ready to make a throw. All of a sudden he realized he better get it in there and throw way off the mark. Not a good throw by Domingo Santana.
So an 8-1 ball game as the Twins have now scored in each of the last 3 innings. A run in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and 2 more here in the 9th. Here's Byron Buxton. Doubled to left his last trip. Be interesting to see how this year unfolds for Buxton. If he can get that average up, still south of 200. Behind on that fastball and is down 0-2.
Well, he's going to have to hit. I mean, he's very good defensively. He covers a lot of ground. Got a great throwing arm. He's fast, but he has to hit. You got to hit in this league. Still young, still has opportunities to evolve, but we'll see how it works out for him.
2-strike pitch, fastball away. Well, the Twins trying to dig out of that early season hole. Losing their first 9, a team that many view as a serious playoff contender. But a lot of ground to make up.
Twins had another guy that was real fast, very good defensively, that couldn't get on base a lot. Carlos Gomez. And they came over to Milwaukee, changed his approach, and they became an all-star.
All-star and a very, very popular player. It was fun that first week, first homestand when he came here. The ovation he got. Buxton goes down swinging, but the Twins score 2 more. We move to the bottom of the 9th. 8-1. Twins lead the Brewers.
As we work here in the bottom of the 9th, 8-1 Twins, and download the MLB.com ballpark app and personalize your trip to Miller Park with digital ticket access, seat upgrades, concession maps, check-in offers, and more. Download Ballpark today free for your smartphone or tablet. Sugar's kicking in here too.
Cotton candy does it every time. Casey Fiend now looking to finish up this game here for the Twins.
Yeah, we saw Casey Fiend in yesterday's ball game. Gave up a run in an inning of work. Overall, a big earned run average in his 7th appearance. And you can see that opponent batting average. He's been hit hard so far.
And Max Kepler came in as a pinch runner. He'll stay in the game, handle things in right field. Well, the Brewer bats were really noisy last night. It's been the opposite today. A run on just 5 hits. Jonathan Lucroy has one of them. In fact, when he singled to center in the 6th, that ended a run that Ricky Nolasco had of retiring 12 straight. Brewers got a run in the first, and that has been it. In the air, right center field. Kepler with an early chance. 1 out. Been a day that outside of the first, the Brewers have had trouble mounting as much as a threat. They had a little one going in the second inning. Left runners at first and second. The final out of the inning that Nolasco recorded, that was the first of 12 straight he was able to retire, and the Brewers have been unable even since to get 2 men on. Here's Chris Carter. In the air to right. Another opportunity for Kepler. 2 up, 2 down here in the ninth. The beauty of this game, you brush it off, get ready for the next one.
It's all about the pitching, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Nolasco was on his game. Took him a while. It took him a couple innings to get going, but that curveball and slider, good pitches today. Taylor Youngman just couldn't figure it out today.
Oh, a career high 6 walks from Youngman this afternoon. And Nolasco gave the Twins exactly what they were looking for today and will continue to look for this season. Hill 0 for 3 and just fouled down the line. Oh, he is hitting the ball hard.
Yeah. Just missed that left field line.
No balls, 2 strikes. Casey Fiend trying to finish this one off here for Minnesota. Fly ball to center. Buxton is there. And the Brewers and Twins split the series. 1 up, 1 down at Target Field. Same story here at Miller Park as Paul Molitor's group rebounds from last night's defeat. The Brewers got to them in a 10-5 win. And the Twins today defeat the Brewers 8-1. There's your final. Brewers will get ready tomorrow as the Phillies come to town. Twins a winner here this afternoon. Let's send it down to Craig Kashawn standing by with Augie and Brewers Live.
Okay, man.